Hey everyone, welcome back to another speed paint. Today we're going to be doing a sort of environment painting for the series that I've been watching, Arcane, that's on Netflix right now. It's inspired by the game League of Legends, which I highly recommend you check out. Really fun, really cool character designs and all that. And just the entire storylines are just really interesting. So for this, we're just doing one of the characters, Jinx, who in the series, she has this little hideout in this cavern kind of area, and I thought just the chaotic nature of it was really cool, and I wanted to do something about it. So right now, I'm just doing the middle, sort of the support beam, some of the wall, and the floor. Trying to get the base colors of everything down, just so I can have everything ready for when I add detail to them. Something I do change though is just the length of it. I didn't think I would want to do something too long just because of how detailed it would have been, but this was a little too squashed for me, so in the final product you see that it can be used as a wallpaper, and also it could give a cinematic sort of feel. And now I'm just adding some texture for the metal on the floor. I didn't know how to do it at first, but then I just went with a sort of rough opacity brush. And later on I do use some photo texture in order to get what I wanted. Now I'm just adding some of the scuffs, and you see that I'm using some brown. That will be used for rust, as I really wanted some sort of use and some sort of wear and tear. And I'm also adding some shadow, so you can actually see where the light is hitting, or one of the lights is hitting.
Treat you, yeah. How I'm gonna treat you, yeah. They ain't gonna treat you right now. I shouldn't really ever have to wonder who you thinking about at night. I know he hurt you, but I ain't going to. You can't see darkness when there's light. You can't see darkness when there's light. I wanna be your light. I wanna keep your smile cold and bright, and see that sparkle in your light brown eyes.
Now I'm actually using rust. I do a different layer style in order to get the kind of color and effect that I wanted. I do that with the rust of the metal, which at first it's a little difficult because I didn't know how to replicate it like the other one. But I do get that at some point, and pretty much it looks the same.
I wanna show you light. I wanna show you light. I wanna see you in my light. I wanna see you in my life.
Darkness no longer exists. So when you're someone's light, that means that there's no darkness in their life. And just positive energy and feelings and vibes.
For the rest of the color, it is a little difficult. I didn't really know how I wanted to get some of the texture and shading across, but for the couch and the desk, I just did some normal shading from dark to light. I didn't really think of how the light would hit that much, just what it would match with the rest of the piece. The couch, though, I do think about the lighting a little bit more and just add it towards the crevices that would hide a little bit more from the light. I had some more color since it looked a little gray for me, and then I just blend that out, and there we go. Add a little bit of shading to the background, and now onto the weapons. I didn't technically draw these. I did kind of trace around the concept art just because I wasn't really confident in my own weapon creation skills, but I am really excited to actually get to that point and just to create my own characters. So at the moment I just sort of get the base color so I can just color it all at once, so then I don't have to go in and cause a lot more problems than I need. Now I'm just doing the same with the gun, just cleaning up a little bit for future me's sake. In the design, you see that I also did duplicate the gun. In retrospect, it did seem a little bit weird, but for the sake of her being some sort of inventor, I think it did add some sort of energy towards it where she doesn't really care about them that much, and it's more indispensable as she is just wanting to create more, and just those could have been some sort of like test. Now I'm just adding some shading so I can have some understanding of what everything is, and then it'll be easier for me to understand the shadows and the lights. I do edit some of the colors though, since they didn't match, but it's not that much of a problem since you just go into hue and saturation and you can just change the colors from there. Here though, I just need to make it a little more blue. In the reference photos, it's a more cooler kind of metal. And besides that, then the base kind of shading of the metal is done. Now I go in with color, just adding some more detailed work with it, with the gold spray paint, and with the sort of rocket launcher, just add some of the belting and the eyes. Here you can see that I'm editing more of the colors so it can match the reference photo. adding some of the color for the gun. I do just try and eye drop some of the color so I can get as true as I can with the weapon. Although this is just a fan remake, I think. I just wanted to have some sort of reference that wasn't affected by light. So here I'm just adding some more of the handle, adding more rust, and making sure I have some sort of realism towards how the texture would have been. Now I just add some of the spray paint. This, I just kind of go to town with it as if she's just getting a little messy with her hideout and everything in general, and add more shading with where everything is. And here is where I copy and just try and reshape the gun and fit it as well as I can. Now I add a little bit of finishing touches. Not really finishing touches, but just more details. Here I add some of the flames. One of them looks better than the other. I didn't understand how that happened. So later on, when I'm not actually using the layers, I merge all of them so it kind of stays together, and I just copy the right flame on top of that because for some reason the effects didn't go well. But now we go on to graffiti. This one I had a spray paint brush, so I was like, why not? And start going to town and adding all of the graffiti effects. Some of them don't work with the layer style I have, so I do have to use at least one of them in a separate layer so it actually works. But after that I add a little bit of dimension and just some more detailing with paint puddles and some more drip effects. Here you can see I also edit some of the color using different layer style and trying to mimic the details with the same sort of effect. And some of the dripping effect also looks a little bit weird. Somehow it doesn't match the actual spray paints, so I try and edit those a little bit more. So Jinx, the spray paint Jinx was the one that was having a little bit of trouble trying to match the same color. So I paste that onto a different layer and try and mimic the same thing. I do resize it, trying to make sure Jinx is actually legible instead of just some sort of splotch. Then after that, I try and make sure everything is okie dokie, And now I add some of the wire detailing. As she's an inventor, she's obviously needing some sort of power source. So I add the wires. I add some sort of detail of like a warning sign on like the actual like breaker. That doesn't turn out the way I wanted it, but it's fine. It gets cut off in the end. But now I'm adding some cast shadows of the actual wire and just doing a little bit of final touches. I do edit some of the color a little bit more after, just making sure it actually shows up and doesn't disappear. But now I just make sure everything is okay, adding some more detail in the rock, as I didn't really know how to paint it, so I do look up a rock texture and sort of put that into the background. I also do a couple more changes. I changed the candle, add more metal texture, and sort of color in the background a little bit more to match some of the reference photos that I saw. And besides that, I think we are done. Hope you guys enjoyed this fan art fun speed paint, and if you want any other sort of fan art, let me know in the comments and I'll get right to it. Next speed paints will be some character creation, so stay tuned for that, and hope you have a wonderful day, a good day, and bye.